Imagine closing your eyes tonight. Now imagine waking up, not inside your home, not inside a tent, but beneath the open African sky. 200,000 years ago, there are no walls, no doors, no flashlight, nothing stands between you and whatever is hiding beyond the firelight. Only a small campfire fighting against an ocean of darkness. Somewhere out there, a predator is already awake. It sees you. It smells the smoke. It knows exactly where you are. Yet, it never comes closer. Why? To understand why the lion never attacked, we first have to stop thinking like humans. Instead, let's imagine the world through the eyes of the predator itself. Every hunt is a decision. Lion doesn't attack everything it sees. It can't afford to plot. One failed hunt wastes precious energy. One serious injury could mean days without food or even death. Out here, survival isn't about being fearless. It's about making the smartest decision possible. Before taking a single step, every predator silently asks the same question: is this meal worth the risk? Imagine standing in complete darkness. The night belongs to predators. Every sound could mean danger. Every shadow could hide a hunter. Then one day, humans discovered something extraordinary. Not a sharper weapon, not stronger muscles, but a simple flame. That tiny fire didn't just produce light, it changed the rules of survival forever. Suddenly, darkness no longer belonged only to predators. For the first time in human history, the night became ours. Fire wasn't just a source of light, it became humanity's first security system. Long before cities, long before walls, long before weapons made of steel, a small circle of flames created something no human had ever possessed before: a safe place to rest. Predators didn't suddenly become afraid of humans. They became uncertain. Flames moved unpredictably. They crackled. They sparked. They filled the air with heat, smoke, and unfamiliar scents. To a predator, that uncertainty wasn't worth the risk. And sometimes, survival isn't about defeating your enemy. It's about convincing them that attacking you isn't worth trying. But fire wasn't the only reason humans survived the night. The real answer lies inside the predator's brain. Every animal lives by a simple rule: never spend more energy than you can gain back. A successful hunt is a reward, but a failed hunt has consequences. An injured leg, a broken tooth, even a deep scratch could leave a predator unable to hunt for days. And in the wild, days without food often become a death sentence. That's why experienced predators aren't fearless. They're careful. Every decision is a calculation. Every movement has a cost. Every attack begins with a question: is this worth risking my life? But if everything we've learned so far is true, why do lions sometimes attack humans? It's a fair question, and the answer reveals just how intelligent predators really are. Most healthy predators avoid humans whenever they can, but nature doesn't always follow its own rules. An old lion, too weak to chase fast. Antelope may choose an easier target. A starving predator, desperate after days without food, may take risks it would normally avoid. An injured animal, a mother protecting her cubs, or a predator defending its territory can all become dangerous. These aren't ordinary hunts. They're desperate survival decisions. That's why attacks on humans remain the exception, not the rule. For thousands of years, this strategy worked. Humans and predators learned to coexist. Most nights ended without conflict. Most predators walked away. But history remembers a few terrifying exceptions, moments when the rules suddenly changed. Tsavo, 1898, deep inside East Africa. 2. Lions began hunting something they almost never hunted before. Humans, night after night, workers building a railway, disappeared into the darkness. Fear spread across the Tsavo wilderness. These lions would become one of the most infamous predators in history. The world still remembers them today as the Tsavo lions. But here's what makes the Tsavo lions so fascinating. Scientists don't believe they hunted humans for just one reason. Instead, several unusual circumstances came together at exactly the wrong time. Some researchers believe disease had already reduced the number of wild prey. Others suggest the expanding railway disturbed the natural ecosystem. Human camps suddenly appeared across the wilderness. The smell of food, smoke, and human activity became part of the lion's environment. One of the lions also showed evidence of severe dental damage. Chasing healthy zebra or buffalo may have become far more difficult. Humans were never the preferred prey. They simply became the easier opportunity. The Tsavo lions didn't rewrite nature's rules. They exposed what happens when nature is pushed beyond its limits. The Tsavo lions weren't the only predators to break the rules. Thousands of kilometers away, another predator would leave an even darker mark on history. In the forests, beneath the Himalayas, female Bengal tiger became one of the most feared animals ever recorded. She wasn't born hunting humans. Evidence suggests she had suffered severe injuries to her canine teeth. Hunting fast, healthy deer became painfully difficult. Every failed chase wasted precious energy. Every missed opportunity brought her closer to starvation. Eventually, she began targeting something slower, something easier. Humans. For years, fear spread from village to village. But the real tragedy wasn't simply the attacks. It was the reason they happened. A predator that could no longer survive the way nature intended was forced to adapt. Once again, the rules hadn't disappeared. Survival had simply become more desperate. By now, you might think every predator follows the same rules. But nature is rarely that. Simple. Lions, tigers, and wolves constantly weigh risk against reward. But other predators evolved very differently. A crocodile doesn't chase prey across open land. It waits, perfectly still, until the perfect moment arrives. Polar bears live in a world where food is incredibly scarce. They often investigate anything that might be edible, even humans. Leopards sometimes adapt to cities, living surprisingly close to people. Every predator follows the same goal, survival. But each species has evolved its own strategy. That's why understanding animal behavior is far more important than fearing it. Tonight, before you fall asleep, look around your room, your walls, your roof, your locked door, your lights. They all tell the same story. For almost all of human history, none of this existed. Our ancestors slept beneath open skies. Surrounded by predators they could hear but rarely see. They survived not because they were stronger, not because they were faster, but because they learned. They learned when to build fires. They learned where to sleep. They learned how predators think. Every generation passed those lessons to the next, until one day, those lessons became civilization. And every peaceful night you enjoy today is built upon thousands of years of survival. We often imagine that humanity conquered nature, but history tells a different story. We survived because we learned to understand it. Every campfire, every safe shelter, every lesson passed from one generation to the next was another step away from fear. Predators didn't disappear. We simply learned how to live beside them. And perhaps that's the greatest survival strategy our species ever discovered. Not domination, but understanding. Because the more we understand nature, the less we have to fear it. Tonight, when you close your eyes, remember this: your peaceful sleep is one of humanity's oldest achievements. And maybe the greatest stories of human survival are only just beginning.